Hey everybody, welcome back. And quick bit of news that fell under the radar yesterday. So let's talk about it here. Capital One and Discover, the merger between those two companies, has gotten approval through the Delaware State Bank Commissioner, and they have finalized their approval for the merger, which is now set to take place and be finished by early 2025. The only things left for Capital One and Discover to complete is agreement to the sale by both boards, by both sets of shareholders. So Discover shareholders and Capital One shareholders both have to agree to the deal. There's virtually no path for that to be sank by shareholders alone. There aren't any activist investors that I'm aware of that have taken significant portions into either company, and there's nothing that I'm aware of at this time that would lead me to believe that this will get sank at the shareholder level. Never say never, but right now, that portion of things looks like it's going to get greenlit pretty easily. Then the only other things will be a vote at the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve and then the Office of Comptroller of the Currency. I don't see either being necessarily a problem in early 2025. That's all I'll say there. Don't think it's going to be an issue for them. We'll see if either bank has entwined themselves in a way that could negatively affect them, but I doubt it. So with that, we should see this merger completed in early 2025 or by mid 2025, and then we'll start seeing the process that Capital One will take with this merger. So they've already hinted that cards will be moving to the Discover network. If I had to guess, I would imagine that the Quicksilver card, the Platinum card, and any for good credit version of a card are going to move over to the Discover network. From the Discover network, the Discover Miles card is likely to be discontinued. The Discover Chrome card is likely to be discontinued. The student cards for Discover will likely continue to stay. Now, the big question from the Discover side is going to be, will the Discover It card become a Capital One card? Capital One currently doesn't have any card besides the Saver card that gives more than 2% on any category. The Saver gives 3% on groceries, 3% on entertainment, 3% on dining. So there is room for other cards to enter the portfolio. Capital One also has a number of trademarks out there for credit cards, so it's possible that the Discover It card will become a Capital One card, but not necessarily carry the It name. So it may not be the Capital One It would likely be the Capital One, insert one of these trademarks here. So right now, they are on a glide path to finish this acquisition, and then it's going to be a question of what does Capital One do with the cards, the network. Now, they say that they're going to be running that the brand is still going to be running independent, that there will still be the Discover brand and all of that. And the big thing for Capital One is going to be expanding the accessibility of Discover's network and making it more viable internationally, I would imagine. So these will get undertaken. It will be hard to see Capital One. So Capital One now is going to go into the building phase with the Discover merger. I have to imagine there will be a lot of redundancies, and while people will say, oh, well, Discover's customer service is great and Capital One's customer service is pretty strong, that will make it even better. Not necessarily. Where there's redundancies in companies like to eliminate redundancy so that they can keep some more of their bottom line. I think we're going to see not necessarily a purge, but an exodus of customer support staff. And if other credit card issuers who say don't necessarily have the best customer support systems are paying attention, they might be able to fix some of their issues, not necessarily on the cheap, but they might be able to fix some of their issues with folks who are well acclaimed for their customer service. I'm just going to put that out there. So if you're, say, I don't know, a bank that happens to be in New York City originally, or a bank cited for a terrible thing it did over a decade ago where everybody left, or a points producing company, a points rewards company that has based its business so far on rent, but is getting into homeownership and points and not well known for their customer service, they too might be incentivized to add folks from this who will be made redundant from this merger. So we will have to see there. Overall, great news for Capital One. This has been a large cloud over 2024 for them. So with this cloud now lifted, 2025 will be getting to work in setting up these new systems and putting into place what Capital One's vision will be going forward. They're going to have to make large investments into the Discover payment network. They're going to have to make large investments into creating a still solid customer support system. They're going to be taking on a lot of new customers. So we'll just have to see how they handle all of this. It is a company known for bringing in subprime customers and a company known for bringing in subprime customers. And Capital One also kind of has this dichotomy of subprime and super prime customers. There's no one really in the middle. So we'll see how they navigate this. But there you go. Just wanted to give this highlight that the Capital One merger with Discover has been approved at the state level. I assume there will be very little resistance at the federal level. Shareholders are not going to rise up in revolt. There are no known activist investors who have sprung up at either Capital One or Discover, demanded seats on the board, or demanded changes to sink a possible vote. So let's see what happens. But that's going to do it for this one. Quick programming note. There is a fight in the comments with my background. I'm going to figure out something going forward to try and placate everyone. Lives are likely going to look like this. Shorter videos like this are probably going to look like this. See about backgrounds with longer form videos or videos that might get out to a wider audience. I don't know. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to support me here on YouTube and help finance a green screen, consider becoming a tidbit collector down in the corner. If you want to support me outside of YouTube and consider other ways to help get a green screen, check out the pinned comment down below. Ko-fi, buy me a coffee, anything will be helpful there. Consider my referrals. Those won't necessarily pay out in cash directly, but hey, every little bit will help. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Appreciate your time. Bye for now.